I welcome you. I'm a piranha, and today I'm back with another horror story. You have probably all seen the animation about Shrek. He is a green man-eating monster who lives in a shack near a swamp, and at the end of the film, he is extremely kind. However, did you know that this kind of monster actually exists? And unlike the animation, it's not so kind? There was a dense forest near a small village in Denmark. The residents of the village were very frightened and nervous by the terrible sounds coming from there. Every night from about 10 o'clock until sunrise, a terrible roar came from the forest. It was not like the howling of a wolf or anything like that. It was definitely a sound coming from the throat of some demonic monster which did not even allow the villagers to sleep normally. The men of the village, who had to bring firewood to the family, went to the forest only until the sun was shining in the sky. Once it happened that a man who went into this dense forest to cut wood was so engrossed in his work that he did not even notice the sunset. The next day, they searched everywhere for the man, but they could not find him anywhere for several days. One day, an 18-year-old girl, who was distinguished by great beauty in the village, while walking in this dense forest and picking mushrooms, found a strange trail of blood, which was smeared on the green grass. The trail of blood was leading to the thorn bush and was slowly turning pale. The girl was very curious, which she could not overcome even when she saw the blood, and instead of telling her fellow citizens about the traces she found, she followed the dried blood and went to the bush. He moved the bush slowly with his thin fingers so as not to touch the thorns, and he saw a severed head lying beneath it, and with its white eyes wide open. The severely torn head belonged to the man who went missing a few days ago when he fell asleep while cutting wood in the forest. The girl was scared and screamed loudly, although she was so far from the village that no one could hear her voice. The girl took a few steps backwards out of fear and fell down. So-and-so had to get up and run home to tell the villagers about what he had seen, but he was not even on his feet yet when he heard the voice of a little boy screaming from the depths of the forest. "Help me! Please help me!" shouted a little boy from the depths of the forest, and the girl likened this voice to the voice of her younger brother. "William!" The girl shouted her brother's name and jumped up immediately. "Yes, I am! Help me, please!" A boy's voice was heard again from the forest. "Then what do you want, William? I'm coming! Where are you?" screamed the girl too, and very fast, though she ran with short steps on her feet on which she wore sandals. The girl had already entered the forest very deep, so deep that even villager men with axes were afraid to enter that distance. However, at this moment, the girl could hear the sound of her little brother's doomed scream, and the depth of the forest did not interest her at all. Suddenly, when the girl was already very deep in the forest, the sound of screaming stopped. "William," called the girl. "William, vote for me." However, the girl's response was only her own echoing voice. The girl with black braids began to spin in a circle and observed everything around her, slowly realizing that she had lost her way and didn't know where to go to return home. She continued running in one specific direction. Although she was not sure if this path was really the right one, she still ran and did not lose hope for a happy ending. Suddenly, the girl came to the lake, a medium-sized lake, where water flowed down from a high hill like a small waterfall. The girl was more afraid. She has never been here and never heard about the existence of a lake near the village. Because of that, she realized that she was really lost, and her heart started beating faster. The girl couldn't do anything anymore. She just stood and stared at the water coming down from the hill. At that time, in the middle of the lake, she saw a small, very thin hand, which was very similar to William's. If it really was William's hand, the boy was underwater and needed help. The girl didn't even think about it and entered the water with her sandals, and the dirty brown water of the lake completely covered the girl's knees, then her stomach, and finally her neck. At this time, William's hand was nowhere to be seen. He would slowly sink into the water and disappear into its dirty depths. "William! William!" screamed the girl and looked here and there, hoping to find traces of her little brother, although there was no sign of William's presence. Suddenly, the water bubbled in front of the girl. It was a sign that someone was really under that brownish water. That's when she felt a rough touch on her thighs. It certainly didn't look like William's small and skinny hands. It was something bigger and more massive. In any case, whatever was on the bottom, it was holding the girl down and not letting her back out. Suddenly, something very dark green appeared on the surface of the water. It looked like a bald head, but it had two thin rings sticking out like antennae above the ears on its glossy head. Soon, his green and wrinkled face also appeared, with very pointed teeth inside his lips and blackened by dirt. "Help me! Help me!" cried the disobedient Goliath in the voice of a little boy, opening wide his hideous mouth, from which slimy saliva flowed like a waterfall. The frightened girl screamed loudly, but her voice died down very quickly so that none of the villagers could hear her. No one has seen the girl since then. They searched for about a week, but they couldn't find any trace of him. And on the 8th day after the disappearance of the girl, little William, who was walking his white sheepdog near the forest, heard a voice coming from the depths of the forest, which was very similar to his lost sister. Help me, William. Come to me." Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. This will help the channel to grow and post more horror stories. May the grace of Piranha protect you.